call it the most crucial portion of the shortcut, because now we are going to embed this principal logic that I've demonstrated to you earlier in the presentation. So before that, let's just format real quick the adjusted date that we got retrieved, and we need to format it into ISO 8601, including time. It's very crucial, so this check is very important here. And now we can move on to the focus mode logic. So what we do now, we need to get current focus action, which is very handy and was added in one of the most recent versions of iOS, and gives a lot of contextual programming opportunities, including this one. So what we need to do first is we need to add an if. Of course, this will be the core if. And we need to get the focus. So we gotta make two conditionals here. So if any of these are true, okay, if current focus doesn't have any value, or the current focus name, okay, name is, and here you need to put the name for the focus mode that you associate with the project, for working on project the most. In my case, this will be reduce interruptions. So this is the focus mode that's powered by Apple Intelligence and intelligently gets the distractions out of your way. So I decided to put it here as my work focus mode. You can put here whatever focus mode you think is suits better. So this is your home task. For me, just decide whichever focus mode, or create one, a separate one that you think is the best for it. Just make sure that the number of focus modes that you can create is limited, and you should manage them up to your needs as best as you can. So we have that if the name is reduce interruptions, or if focus mode does not have any value, we are going to create a new time entry related to a project. And that means we need to have a prompt to select a project. So what we do first is we need to put a set variable action. Okay, so if any of these are true, we are following this logic. So if any of these, we'll clear this, set variable projects to input, and leave this empty for now, because this is the variable that will facilitate us as a reservoir for all the projects that we can choose from, right? So I'm gonna get value for, but get contents of URL action, and this will be a query action, query request for the database, api.notion.com/v1/databases. In here, we need to put the areas, database ID, and query. Good. Now for the method, it will be post, of course. Let's double check if we enter it here correctly. Yes, it's post as well. So make sure you have post in your queries. Basically, we won't have any GET requests in this shortcut, because we are using queries to check if there are any in progress time entries. We're using queries to retrieve all the projects, and we are using post to create a new time entry. Okay, so the headers. Now for the headers, we need everything the same. So authorization. Now authorization will be bearer and key. Okay. Now the next one is, of course, Notion version. I'm gonna add it as well. 2022-06. 0628. This is it. And now I'm going to add something into request body, and this will be a filter. So we're going to add a filter, and this will be a dictionary because it will be a single property filter. Okay, and we're going to filter by the type. Remember, we have a type project and we have a type activity. So we need to filter exactly to choose a project, not an activity. We need to filter out all the activities from the equation. So it'll be property, and the property will be property type. Okay, and add here the select dictionary. Okay, and inside that we need to put an operator equals, and value will be project. So after that, this query will provide us with a results list with all the dictionaries for all the projects, and we need now to get only the necessary information for this, for the prompt. So first things first, we're getting value for results key, and now we are going to repeat with each of these. Okay, so repeating with each project. Okay, this thing is understandable. Now what we do with each project dictionary, we need to get a specific data from this project dictionary. For the prompt, we need a title of the project, so we need so we know which project we're actually selecting, and we need an ID, so we actually can manipulate this project through the API to create a new time entry related to it. So what we do is we need to use a set value action, set dictionary value action, which is very useful for this shortcuts flow. What we do is we clear this whole. Okay, so key will be the project's title. So first things first, we need to put here the repeat item. We actually fill in repeat item in both of these fields, but we choose different dictionary values for each. So you need to change the type to dictionary for this one and get value for key. Now be very attentive here, very important. So it's get the properties, name, title, one, the text, the content. This gets us the project's title. So depending, put here whatever property, title property that you have set in your template, or if you downloaded my template and you are decided to develop it further for your needs, you need to set a title property name that's actually name. Okay, right. So here we set this. Now for this repeat item, we need to change data type to dictionary once again and put here the ID. And dictionary that we are selecting is projects. After that, that's not all, because if we leave this all as is, the projects variable will always have just one title ID pair, because we are not actually saving it, and we are leaving it in this dictionary value output. What we should do, just to continue appending the title and ID pairs, we need to once again set variable and set variable projects. So at this point you should be very careful, because we need to have projects the same way, written the same way, as well as here, so it all comes into a single property. Okay, and after that, what we do is we choose from list. Okay, we choose from this properties variable. Okay, and we need to switch this to keys. Okay, good. Now after that, we are going to get value for the chosen key, meaning the chosen project title, and we need to get value for, specifically we need to get value for the selected item, and choose the dictionary, and the dictionary will be projects. Okay, and after that we need to set variable to focus area ID. So after all, the selected project is still a focus area, and this responds to the principle that I've come up with for this time tracker project. So we need to set variable focus area ID. So we need to set variable focus area ID to this dictionary value just so we can access it later when we are creating the final time entries. Okay. And after that, what we do is we need to get text action, put here something, some word that will identify that's the work time entry. This will be needed for the time entries title. So just to make it visible what time entry is currently running, and later in the scriptable widget to make it obvious what is the time entry currently running, we are adding a label just to separate the time entries related to different focus areas. So this will be the focus area, just focus area like this, like that. Right, and otherwise, oh, and forgot the most important thing. We need to set focus mode. So this is the final action in this logic. So finally we set again we are in some way we are overriding the currently toggled focus mode. If the currently toggled focus mode is reduce interruptions, for example, and we are toggling it again, but we are toggling it for the set duration, just like that. So we are toggling on, then we have an option appearing, and we need to choose time. And remember, we created the adjusted date, so we just put here this variable. Okay, so here it is, the adjusted date magic variable, and we are done with this part of the logic. So if we turn on reduce interruptions, we turn it on for the time until time and this adjusted date. So that's made so we will know exactly when the time entry will be finished, because the focus mode will be turned off, and we will be notified as well, because we will see that we are now not in this focus mode. Okay, so now we will move on to the next part of the logic, which will relate to the focus mode activities. So otherwise, we will use a text field. So for this text field, you need to put here the titles of the focus modes that you relate to different activities, and you also need to create focus areas for these focus mode activities as well in Notion, so there won't be any interruptions in the shortcuts flow. Okay, so after that, what we do is so I'll put here only reading, but you can put here as many as you want. Just decide whichever ones do you want to track. Okay, and now we put an if in here. So if text contains the current focus, then we can move on with our logic. So if we have reading as the current focus, we can move on. If it's not, we will stop the shortcut later. Okay. So what we need to do now is we need to, in some way, get the activity ID. So you can do it in two ways. You can actually get the activity focus areas IDs right away from Notion and store it in the shortcut directly in some dictionary, or we can retrieve them dynamically, so there will be less interruptions, less errors in the shortcuts flow. So we can just retrieve them, query the database every time to get the correct ID, the most recent ID from the database. All right, so now I'm gonna get contents of URL action, and I'm gonna clear this variable and put here https://api.notion.com/v1/databases, and here we need to put the areas database ID and query. All right, so now I'm going to get value for results once again. But before we do that, we need to in some way limit the retrieved IDs to one single ID that we need. So for the method, we need to change it to post, of course. The headers will be authorization. The authorization will be bearer key, and the key here will be Notion version. Next key 2022-06-28. Okay. After that, we need to set up a filter. So the filter will be set for the name property. Okay, so I'm gonna change. I need to type the filter. Okay, type dictionary filter. It will be single property filter, and the property will be name. And now we need to put here the title. Okay, and it will be dictionary, and it will be equals current focus name. Right, so this will mean that it will retrieve the ID for the database entry that has the title equal to current focus title. Okay, now I'm gonna get a value for results. Like that, and get value for ID just from that. Or we can just, okay, no, not this time. Yeah, set variable, put here focus area ID, and change this variable to, let's just select once again. So this should return us only one page, and we need to select focus area ID variable to a dictionary value inside of this dictionary. Okay, so it will be ID. Like that. So this now we have the focus area ID like we do in this first part of the logic. We have focus area ID, and now we also have to have a focus area. Okay, this time it will be created a little in a little different way. So the variable will be focus area, and the input will be current focus name. Good. Now we finally need to turn on focus, set focus. Yeah, set focus mode. We need to set it on until time. So here we need to change the thing to a variable. And this will be the current focus, okay? Because we are overriding its state, we are overriding it with the final, with the ending time. So we turn the current focus on, meaning reading focus mode, on until time, and once again it should be the adjusted date that we have created some time ago in the shortcut. Adjusted date, okay. So this is basically it for the second part of the logic, and finally we have another otherwise. So for that we need to put here the show alert action. I put here something like toggle the predefined focus mode first. Now untoggle the cancel button. And we also need to put a stop current shortcut action. So the shortcut shows us this message and quits immediately. So now let's try to run this and test if it really works the way we actually intended it to be. All right. So they currently have a do not disturb focus mode on. So if we now run this, like we have the minute duration selection prompt working done, and as you see here we have the message to toggle the predefined focus mode first. So this doesn't actually suit our needs, so I'm going to turn reduce interruptions on right now, and now it's on. Now I'm going to run the shortcut. I got to choose 10. Let's choose 10 this time. Now it asks me for the permission to use my credentials. I'll always allow that. And now it asks me for the project that I would like to work on. So I'll choose idea project. And as the final variable that has in this logic part, it outputs work. So actually, we didn't do anything to Notion. We didn't create any time entry so far because we haven't added any final summarizing create page request, because we do not have it, simply put. And now we actually move to this part, the final part of the shortcuts flow, where we actually create a new time entry. Okay, friends, so now what we do is we actually are going to create the final create a page request. So finally we are creating this time entry that we've been craving for so long. So we need to get contents. We need to get contents of URL action, and let's fill it in quickly. Okay, so we do https://api.notion.com/ v1/pages. Alright, and the method should be post. But a post because we are creating something. And we are putting authorization key here with headers, be bearer key. And just like that. The next one is, as always, Notion version. And the Notion version should be 2022-06-28. Just like that. Alright, so now we can close the headers and move on to the body. What we do here, we got two keys. The first one being parent. So there should be the parent database that we are putting new page in. Database ID. Like so. So what should be the database ID? Alright, it should be the entries, because we're creating a new time entry, not a new focus area. Okay, and the next one is properties. It's also going to be a dictionary, and this dictionary will contain all the properties that we've accumulated throughout the shortcut, all the magic variables are going to be filled into there. So the first one will be the name. Okay. So the name dictionary should contain the title array, like so. Now the title array should include dictionary, and inside this dictionary we're going to have another dictionary, just like that. And this dictionary should have a text. Oh, it should be text, yeah. And inside we finally have the content. And this content should be focus area, like so. Okay. Now onto the next one. The next one will be time spent. So the time spent dictionary should include a dictionary key date, and this key should be parent to start. So we have start. What should be the start? It should be the current date, of course. And now we need to format it the correct way. So the date format should be ISO 601, and it should include the ISO 601 time. Right? So now the date is done at this point, and not done on half. So we need also put an end in here immediately. So there should be formatted date. So I'm gonna select the property here, select the variable here, formatted date. This is the formatted adjusted date, as you remember. Okay, so now for the next one, we are going to add a focus area. So this one will include the focus area ID that we relate to with this time entry. So this should have an array, and it will be relation array, and I'm going to add an item dictionary. This will have a ID, and this will have focus area ID. Okay, so make sure you put everything in the right place. This is basically all the things that we need to fill in on this page creation. And now let's test run the shortcut. So I don't have any focus mode enabled right now, so you should fit in into the project logic because the current focus doesn't have any value. Okay, for how long? I'm going to use 5, and I'm going to choose now a project, idea project. Now it asks me to use my credentials, always allow. And there we have it. So let's check the Notion database right now. Time entries, and there you go. We have work, but we didn't put anything, so I missed one thing here. Is I put the finish flag and the finish time. So this will be useful for the scriptable widget to display. So we go to properties now for the name, the title, text. Okay, content here. We have focus area, and now we need to put here the finish flag, identifying the finish time for the time entry. And now we need to go back to the magic variable, which is the adjusted date. And make sure you do not select the formatted date because we do not put it into time span date property where the date format is crucial. We need just the a time reference. So we go again here, and we need now to go to this date. Now you need to put date format to none and time format to short, just like that. So it will now be displayed properly. So now let's try to run this shortcut once again and see how it goes. I'm going to use 5 again, choose a idea project, and now let's go back to the Notion database, and as you see here, we've got it fixed. We have a work focus session, related to idea project that will end at 1955. Okay, friends, so now I am on my iPhone, and the reason I am transitioning to the iPhone, not on the Mac, is we need to make some possible mobile-specific actions. So the scriptable application, the thing is, the scriptable application is not available on the macOS, so we don't have the chance to put the actions from the scriptable application into the shortcut that we need to. So first things first, let's add two widgets. So I'm gonna add scriptable widgets on my home screen. Scriptable, I'm gonna add one here, and let's configure it. So the script that it should run is the home screen script. Okay, so Notion time tracker widget. The scripts will be given in the description down below, so you'll be able to download them freely. And when interacting, I want to open URL. So the URL should be exactly this. This is the URL that will act as the shortcut running toggle, and it's got the shortcut's title embedded into it, and it is URL encoded, meaning every space in the title is represented by %20. So if you have the shortcuts title that is different to the shortcuts title I built in the video, if it's not a new start new term record, and it's something else, you need to URL encode it first and put then into this URL. The URL will be given into the description down below. Okay, and then you basically ready with the shortcut with this widget. Okay, so we have no time entries in progress, so the shortcut works like it should. And we have total track today for the time entries, as you see here, for 10 minutes. For the 5-minute entries we've used to test the shortcuts flow. And now I'm going to go to my lock screen to add another widget to see the time entries state. Alright, so we need to choose a script. It'll be lock screen widget, and when interacting, I'm going to use open URL. So the open URL should be the same as in the home screen widget. We enter this, and now we can close it. And as you see here, we have no time entries here, displaying that there's no time entries currently running, and is more compact and fits into the shortcut entirely. Okay, so now we are basically we have the shortcuts set up, and now let's test run them. Okay, so we have the home screen widget and the lock screen widget. Let's first run the home screen widget. So I have no currently any entry selected, and my focus mode is off, so it fits into the first part of the logic. I'm going to choose the 5-minute duration, choose the project, and now it turns on the reduce interruptions focus mode. Now if I exit to my home screen, it now updates to fit in this new time entry, and it finishes in 2020, so I exactly know when should I finish. And on the lock screen, the same thing goes. And now I'm going to run the lock screen widget. I'm just clicking on this, and as you see here, we have work is still running. Good. And the thing is, thanks to the fact that we've put the refresh all widget at the start and at the end of the shortcut, every time we click on this lock screen widget or home screen widget, it will refresh. So it will provide us with the new information, and we are updated every time. So if you are wondering how to run the shortcut from your wrist, from your Apple Watch, this is very simple. So what we need to do is we need to duplicate the shortcut, and I'm gonna go now into it and do this. So I'm gonna just mark it as the Apple Watch exclusive shortcut, and I'm gonna remove the scriptable actions. The shortcut will have a downside that it will not have any widget refreshes, but we are fine with that. Here I am on my phone, and this is the shortcut I adapted to my Apple Watch. We're going to information, and here we need to toggle show on Apple Watch. Done. And now let's move to our Apple Watch. Okay, from my Apple Watch, here I am on my lock screen. What I'd like to do is I need to go to the control center and then go to right to the bottom. So we need to go and edit the control center section. Hit plus. And now we need to search for the shortcuts, like so. Now click on the shortcut and wait for the shortcut to appear. I'm going to choose start new record, new time record. Now I'm going to confirm. And now on our control center on our Apple Watch, we can run the shortcut. And what we will do is it will again ask for the number of minutes. Can prompt us to choose a project, and now we are done. Let's return back to the iPhone. Here I am on my phone. It may show a very outdated data, but we know that we can just run the shortcut once, and we see that we have a new entry that's still running. And we did it all from our wrist. So this is it for the Apple Watch part of this tutorial. So this is it. Congratulations. And now we have a full-time tracking system set up for Notion through shortcuts. Hopefully this was easy for you to understand, easy for you to follow. Join my Discord server where I'll put the scriptable scripts downloads, as well as look through my description of this video. Join my threads where I'll post regularly, and like, comment, and subscribe for more tutorials like that.